And what's also interesting is that the riot police seem to have allowed the masses into Gezi Park. That's the last little piece of green space in this enormous concrete area that triggered the protest movement in the first place 5 days ago. And we can see hundreds, if not thousands of people milling around the square there. The riot police have been pulling back, and now we're seeing them lob fresh rounds and canisters of tear gas into the throngs of people. The roar of fleeing demonstrators right now as they run from the chemicals and the gas that have really filled this square for more than 24 hours. I can guarantee you that people are getting hurt in the panic of these thousands of people running through this area. This has really been a battleground, Fanula, for 36 hours. In my more than 10 years living and being based in Istanbul, I have never seen violence on this scale for such a prolonged period. And this is coming just a few hours after the Turkish Prime Minister, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, broke his silence about these demonstrations, calling on them to stop, admitting that perhaps too much tear gas has been used and that tear gas would be investigated, but also saying that he would not allow Taksim Square to be used by quote-unquote marginal groups. He also vowed that the construction project for Gezi Park would go ahead as planned, which is pretty remarkable to hear a head of state chiming in about the demolition of a small park in a city and the construction of what is effectively a shopping mall there. We're starting to feel some of the tear gas from our vantage point here, which of course has been basically a way of life now, these chemical fogs in the air in the heart of Turkey's largest city for 36 straight hours now.
The riots have been going on in downtown Istanbul all day on Friday. You can see the riot police here in the central Taksim Square squaring off against demonstrators who are starting to set up burning barricades. They're hurling rocks and bottles. It's very overwhelming, and this is the commercial heart of Turkey's largest city. This started as a protest movement against plans to bulldoze that park over there and replace it with a shopping mall.
We don't want this place to turn into a shopping mall, and now this has turned into something else because the Prime Minister is controlling the media, the police, and we have no control about what gets out in terms of news from Turkey.
This isn't about a shopping mall anymore, is it?
Not anymore. This is, I think it's going towards something political, and suppression has come to a certain level where people are fed up with this. So we're going to try to change this. Tonight it's going to be a bigger gathering, so we'll see what happens.
All right. Honestly, it's really hard to breathe right now without a gas mask. The crowds of stone-throwing protesters have gotten worse as the day has progressed. A lot of people very angry that the use of tear gas and this police force is being used almost on a weekly basis in Turkey against any public demonstration of dissent. The irony here is that just earlier this week, Istanbul was making its bid to host the 2020 Olympics. Now, it's become the scene of a full day of riots. Ivan Watson, CNN, Istanbul.